I mean, I could be that what I'm doing is defining getting somewhere through the lens of one state or another. And so I'm wondering what does feeling effective and getting somewhere like when you're in ventral vagal?
Connected. I think connected is the payoff. You feel connected to yourself, your surroundings, and to other people, even maybe, depending on who's in your life. But the ventral is all about connection. So you feel connection. That is the payoff. And along with that come motivation and empowerment, play. But I think for safety state in and of itself, connection is kind of the payoff, you know? And then there's also other things that that might not be as obvious. Like in the ventral vagal state, we better use our resources for health and growth and restoration. You know, so our bodies are healthier generally, more rejuvenated, more in the present moment. So there's a bunch of payoffs. It just doesn't have that necessarily intense, feeling that comes along with it. Although I think awe can be a very intense experience. That could be a payoff of a safety state.
So it wouldn't have any kind of adrenaline satisfaction connected to it.
I don't think so. I think it's the experience might be connection. And then for me personally, like there's a deep appreciation that comes over me. It's not adrenaline, but there's this profound experience of appreciation, gratitude, of existence, of being connected for me personally. So that's quite a payoff, but it's more of like a settling. For me, there's like a sense of settling payoff versus, escaping a predator triumph or, something like that, I suppose. So I don't know, it just has a deeper, connected, more profound, awe-inspiring, feeling small in this incredible world or universe kind of experience to it for me. There are, there's more noticeable, actually, no, they're not very noticeable. There are more, I think, these experiences of little wins, we'll call them. So if someone is at home and depressed and anxious all day, but they can go for a walk and be more mindful of their surroundings, that involves the safety state. That's a win. And it might not feel like this obvious thing, but when you reflect back and say, oh, I did notice a smell or a sight, or I did feel appreciation or connection to what was happening on my walk today, then you can say, oh, there was a ventral vagal moment there where I did feel connection, or when that, even if people keep bringing up, like when they go to the store and the clerk has a smile with them, they share that. That comes up often. It's like, yeah, there's like a little moment there of connection. It's not a ton. There's no huge payoff, but when we look back, we can see that there were moments of connection, and those are little wins, but we have to kind of notice it. We have to, and then even if it involves memory, if you don't notice it in the moment, you can reflect back on it and think and remember what it felt like to share a smile with somebody, or to be attuned to the environment when you were on your walk earlier that day. Like that could be little wins, but the safety state's like this ongoing building process. So as it gets stronger, it may become more obvious. There might be, even if it's not like a super obvious, powerful, emotional connection, gratitude, or, sort of experience, maybe it's just like less depression. Maybe it's less anxiety. Maybe something just got a little bit easier, or you were less reactive to whatever thing. Those are little ventral vagal wins that are not obvious. They're not in your face, but they're there. And then when you reflect back on them, like in therapy, that's what I hear a lot is like, oh yeah, you know what? Like I didn't notice it, but I wasn't as depressed this week. Something was different. Like it wasn't as intense. I was a 7 out of 10 versus a 9 out of 10 maybe. So those are more like the ongoing day in, day out. You can notice it, but a lot of times you have to kind of reflect upon it because it's really easy to miss. And then there are the more overt, obvious experiences like awe and connection and, deep meditative, spiritual kind of things that I would call ventral vagal activation that are probably more obvious. But, I think more often, like day to day, it's easier to miss. You just listened to a segment from one of my Q&A meetups. If you're ready to start working on your self-development or trauma recovery, you can join me in a future one. All you got to do is subscribe to my Total Access membership. Through the membership, you get access to the twice monthly meetups, a whole second podcast, daily growth challenges, and all 3 of my trauma recovery courses. This is your personal invitation, and I cannot wait to see you there.
This podcast is not therapy, not intended to be therapy or be a replacement for therapy. Nothing in this creates or indicates a therapeutic relationship. Please consult with your therapist or seek for one in your area if you are experiencing mental health symptoms. Nothing in this podcast should be construed to be specific life advice. It is for educational and entertainment purposes only. More resources are available in the description of this episode and in the footer of justinlmft.com.